All right, what's going on, everybody, and welcome back. May the Most High bless you. I pray all is well with everybody as we give the Most High all the honor, the glory, and all the praise. In this video, I want to talk about using the concordance, or some may be familiar with the James Strong's concordance. It's different versions of concordance that's out, just according to who you are and what you like to look at and study with. But some people say they don't need one, and then other people say they do. And then some people just don't study at all, you know. So it's according to who you are and what you like to look at. But for me, something very, very powerful that Paul told Timothy to study, to show himself approved. So for me, as when the Bible says study, I have to go back and get the original meanings. And I like to use the Strong Concordance and also the lexicon. The Strong Concordance break down the Greek and the Hebrew, or some might say Aramaic, or Aramaic, however you want to pronounce it. And this is so important to do when you teach. What I do is I already do this before I get on camera. That's why a lot of people call me a false teacher, or they don't know what I'm talking about. Where did you get this stuff from? I'll give you an example of like when I talk about hell and teaching hell as the grave. A lot of people say that's false. They don't understand what I'm talking about. They'll say that hell and the lake of fire is the same thing, and want to go back and forth and argue. But I don't argue with people. I just look at the word. But here's the problem: they didn't speak in English back then, and the problem with that a lot of people I see do is that they look at the King James Bible, which is English. They take the words as it is without really thinking that, okay, this word here could have more than one meaning. And that's what's going on with the Bible. Is being misunderstood because a lot of people won't go back and get the real meaning. For me, I'm just going to be honest when I say this. As a teacher, why not teach with the true meaning of the words? Why not take out a little more time and go back to the Hebrew, go back to the Greek? That way, folks won't be lost. Now, that's just the way I feel about that. Because the King James Bible can be very confusing to other people that's coming into Christ off of a lot of words that have more than one meaning. Just like, for instance, when I say, oh, it's a cloud of people over there. I'm using the word cloud. I'm not talking about clouds in the sky. I'm talking about cloud meaning a group. Or if you hear me say something like air, what am I talking about? Which air? The air that I breathe, or the air outside? I'm looking up in the air and I see the birds flying. So many words in the King James Bible that's English have more than one meaning. If you don't know what the meaning of that word is in that scripture, then you'll take this scripture out of context and believe it wrong and teach it wrong. So that's why our job as teachers is to do the true study. And now, like I say, it's each to their own. A lot of people say they don't need one, and a lot of people say they do. Now, as for me, I don't get caught up in a whole lot of commentaries. I see people focus more on commentaries than the word now, especially teaching in churches now. And that's just, for me, that's a no-no. I'd rather go to the Strong Concordance and look at, okay, if they spoke Greek, if they spoke Hebrew, let me look at what they spoke. If I was going to hang around my Hispanic buddy, then if I want to learn his language, then I not only need to listen to him what he's teaching me, but I need to also get the books and learn what the true words mean. So I want to do this video like this, and I'm going to post another video on her tied in with this one to show you what I'm talking about with the word hell. So this Strong Concordance, it's a real good tool. It really is, y'all. It's words that you can type in, and it'll show you every time that word is used in the Bible. Every time. And it'll show you what it means. And when you click on the tools, it'll show you word by word the Hebrew root word, or the Greek root word. It's awesome. And this really cuts down confusion, because when you put the King James Bible on this side and then you're looking at the Strong Concordance, then I guarantee you, you're going to see a totally different you're going to see something totally different in the majority of the scriptures that you read. And it's very helpful for locating scripture verses that you know the words to, but you don't know the book. I heard a lot of people say, man, when people ask them a question, they say, I don't know where it is in the Bible, but I don't know the book. Well, that strong concordance, you wouldn't have no problem with that. Because beside each verse references, there is a number. And that number represents a Hebrew word. Or you might say it'll represent a Greek word in the New Testament. We all know the Old Testament, Hebrew, New Testament, Greek. And you can look in the back of the book, it lists Hebrew and Greek words used to translate the Bible into English. But now when you look at, there's so many Bibles now. I mean, I'm going to tell you one Bible I really don't like to fool with, and I'm being real, is the NIV. That's why I stay in the strong concordance. And I look in the lexicon more than anything. Because I actually look at, I'm trying to think of this website that I look at. It has pretty much every Bible that's out now. But I compare those Bibles just to see how far off and how many scriptures are missing. And it's sad. And I ask people, what kind of Bible you read? Well, I don't study this. I'm looking at the NIV. Well, I'm looking at the Common English. I'm looking at the Amplified. I'm looking at this. And it's very crazy in church when the pastor is standing up and asking everybody to read along with them at the same time. And everybody got a different Bible. And you can't even read on one accord because it won't even make sense. That's why it's so important to have teachers, y'all. Very important. And with that lexicon, I mean, you can type in something and it's on point. It's real helpful. But one of the best ways to really get the true meaning of a word is to look up what that word in the Hebrew and Greek. Well, let me say it like this, Hebrew or Greek lexicon, to see exactly, okay, how was it translated in various places in the Bible. That's why the lexicon comes in so much good handy. It comes in handy, excuse me. A lexicon is just simpler way of saying it is, some people say it's like the dictionary, it's a dictionary, but to me it's a difference between the lexicon and the dictionary, because a lexicon is a list of words that belong to a particular language. So that's why I love, Sister Lady D, this is what I meant to tell you that day when you was asking me about a strong concordance. And we started talking about the blue letter online here. You asked some very good questions about that. And the blue letter, man, I like it. I wish people could get off Facebook and stop tweeting sometime. And all this Instagram and stuff, and quit quoting scriptures and Facebooking scriptures, and go on some of these type of websites and learn what these scriptures mean. Or learn what the King James Bible is really saying in the Greek and the Hebrew. So that's my time, y'all. I'm going to give y'all an example. I'm going to tie this other video on along with this. So give me just a couple of seconds, and here it go. Y'all have a blessed and wonderful day. All right, everybody. Now, notice I'm on www.blueletterbible.org. Okay, Blue Letter Bible. Now, what we're going to do, since we was talking about hell, we're going to go up here, and notice it's on the King James Version. And I'm going to type in hell. Okay, it's already there. Okay. This is what I was talking about earlier. So, notice how many times the Bible uses hell. Now it shows that it occurs 54 times and 54 verses in the King James Version. Most people use the King James Version. So whatever scriptures you're looking for, and then notice when you click tools to the left, it will show you word by word. See here to the left, and then to the right, it'll show you the root word from the Hebrew. So even if you read word by word, you know, scripture by scripture, as Pastor Arnold Murray would say, then you'll see the true meaning of these words. Now, let's get back from that and back up. Now, what I was really wanting to get into. Now, let's go to the lexicon. I'm on the right hand side of the screen. Now, type in hell in the lexicon and it show you. Now, notice, this is what I really want to get to, and I'm not going to make this video too much longer. So notice it says now there are 5 lexicon entries that match hell. Now it says 2 Hebrew Aramaic results, and then it says 3 Greek results. This is why a lot of people be trying to figure out, where do I get this about hell at and what it truly means. Now, you notice, y'all hear me oftentimes say Sheol a lot. But you see the numbers to the left, H36, 22. We know what those numbers represent. But the more times you see this, what do you see? You see pit, you see grave. Grave. Sheol, grave. Hades, grave. Ghana, Tartaro, Herue. But the most time you hear me say Sheol. So when I say something like, I gotta go to hell to get to heaven, a lot of people think I'm being funny or sarcastic, because I'm just simply saying I'm gonna go to my grave. Now, according to who you are and what you believe, you might say that hell is the lake of fire, because down here in the New Testament it's listed 3 times, but it says hell fire. But when you think about grave, pit, what do they do to you when they bury you? They put you on the ground. They put you in the grave. The pit, some might call it. So this is why I don't teach hell and lake of fire as the same place. Luke 16 shows you a great account of this, when the rich man died and Lazarus, they both died, and Lazarus winded up in Abraham's bosom, which is what we call paradise. Paradise is not heaven. The rich man was in hell. He was in the grave. So that in the Old Testament, when you see Sheol, that was the place where they went. But that gulf, that split, the rich man couldn't get to where Abraham, to where Lazarus was at. So that's why I want to just do this little, this little part right here about hell, showing that it's the grave, the pit, Hades, grave. The cast down, Tartaro. So Ghana, that's why I teach it like that. So y'all, that's my time. Maybe in the future I'll come back and do some more showing how to really use the strong coordinates, and why we, those that teach with the coordinates, strong concordance, like to teach with it like this. So y'all have a blessed day.